Hey, Star Wars and unboxing fans, welcome to another episode of Darth Tuba's Star Wars Unboxing Show. I'm your host, Darth Tuba, with another unboxing from the great, the awesome Michael Star Wars Daddy. I don't want to say his last name, but he's Star Wars Daddy on YouTube. Check him out. He's got an awesome channel. Become a member, which I have. If you're somebody who is interested in building up a Star Wars collection of your own, particularly vintage 70s and 80s Star Wars, you cannot go wrong with Star Wars Daddy. Again, I gain nothing from this, okay? In fact, I'm spending money a lot on his channel, only because he's got great prices, great items, and if you become a member, he gives you a lot of perks in the area of either free or reduced shipping costs, which is crazy good. He works primarily through eBay, but if you become a member, you can reach out. If you watch his videos and you see his unboxings, stuff that he's putting out for sale, you can reach out to him ahead of time. Avoid all of the eBay things. I will say this about his eBay auctions. He always, at least the last few months or last few weeks to months, he has pretty much listed his items on Sunday afternoons, early evenings. So Eastern Standard Time, they tend to end somewhere in the 6 p.m., 7 p.m. range. And my goodness, I have never seen a list of, I usually list about 100 items or so, maybe a little less, maybe a little more. But man, when you want to talk about, it's almost like fun just to keep refreshing the last minute, even if you're not invested in this at all, and just see how much all these individual figures and bigger items just, they start off at this price, and then with a minute left, they go ba-doom, 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 ba-doom. All these people trying to, snipe, right? Myself included, I'm guilty. All right, you're just like, oh, I want this item, I want this item. And these prices that start off at maybe like $10 will find themselves like that last. Sometimes they'll creep up a little bit as the week goes on, but then you get to that last hour, that last 5 minutes, and it's like $10, $20, 26, 36, 37, 47, 45, and just go, because there are certain figures that are, rarer that people really want to put in their collection, and they're loose, and typically they're complete. So I've been really jumping in on a lot of his auctions week after week, year after year. And again, full disclosure, all right, my reasoning for trying to find these items is that, if eventually it gets to a point where there's a price point where I feel like it goes up to a certain point where it's like, all right, I can still sell that and then put a sticker on it. If it's something that I want to put out in my sale next year, I can put a sticker on that for at least what I paid, maybe a little more. Not so much because I'm trying to make a huge profit off or anything, but more just that I want to get as much vintage collection into my sale as possible, because it's the most popular thing that people really are interested in. Yes, there's a lot of interest in the modern. I sold a lot of modern stuff, but I sold it for a greatly reduced price. Okay, like far less than I paid. $10 battle packs, $20, $30 vehicles in the box. I mean, I was not making anything of what I paid, which is fine. Again, I liked having it in the collection. I liked displaying it. I liked looking at it. And then when I started, space becomes a premium, I start choosing what I'm going to get rid of, and then use that to put more stuff. These days, I'm focusing mainly on vintage collection, meaning the new stuff that's looking like the old stuff, the carded figures, the boxed vehicles, that kind of thing. These playset / diorama sets. That's what I've been really focusing on, which they don't release that much. They release a ton of Black Series, but I'm not into that anymore. So it's kind of nice. I only buy a few things. I do back the HasLab stuff, and I try to make space for that as well. It's not easy. Some of the stuff is huge. So that Ghost took up a lot of space. But that is the main part of the collection. Number 2 would be Disney Star Wars crossover. They come out with droids in the parks. I go to Disney a lot. Some of the Galaxy's Edge items, some Star Tours items, not everything, just a couple of things here and there. And then the occasional helmet or lightsaber build, or build a droid at Droid Depot. Those are the things that I kind of keep in the collection. And then lastly, it's just 70s and 80s. Why? Because I have a lot of that, and I'm just using auction places and eBay auctions and sellers like Star Wars Daddy to try to fill in the gaps, the things that I don't have, or I had, I no longer have, and I'm just trying to get them back in there. But I did, also, I fully intend in a lot of his auctions to flip them and put them out there, but not so much to make money off of them. I'll probably put them out for the same price that he sold them to me for, just so I have items in the sale for next year. So let's see what we got this time. I keep saying, all right, I'm going to back off from your auction, sir. And then something comes up and I'm like, oh, but I could use that. You know, like sometimes it's a combination. Like I've been buying a lot of the 12-inch figures, mainly so that I can have the box for the figure from my original figure, and then put the figure out that I got in the sale. So it's a lot of it's splitting the difference, you know. So I want to, and again, Star Wars Daddy, find him on YouTube, see him on eBay, look for his shop on eBay. All right. So speaking of box items, we got a couple of them here. We got this one. We got, I'm gonna kind of put it this way. We've got a Darth Vader 12-inch action figure. Now, you might look at this and say, yeah, well, the box is kind of crappy. Well, you know what? These boxes don't last. Okay, between the cellophane, you know, and the fact that most people just threw the box away, having a box that's even in this good of shape is a rarity. If you watch on our previous channel, our previous episode, I went to a local toy shop and I did kind of a joint episode with Into a Larger World, which I'm sure, Kara, you're watching. Hey, how you doing? And you might remember that I picked up the figure in the box like this. That box was even worse condition than this. So this one will find a position in my collection, but the figure itself, decent. You know, I got to look at it in more detail in comparison to my own figure. Okay, it is complete. So, and what do I mean by complete? Come on, there it is. It comes with the saber, right? So always a hard part to get the saber. All right, now the question I have is, will he hold the saber? I don't know if he's going to hold the saber. I don't think he does. That's such a weird thing. I know I don't have the saber. Let's see if he holds them in the picture. He's holding it with his left hand. Let's look at his right. Will he hold it in his right? Nope. He will not hold the saber. So I don't know how they did it. I don't know how he did it. I'm guessing that he glued it. I don't know, but he just does not hold the saber. So I'm just, but I have the saber now. So I'm probably going to put this one out in the sale and keep the box but I have another box that I'll put him in that box and put that one out. So everybody wins on this one. So thank you, Star Wars Daddy, for that one. Let's put that there. We also have a land speeder, and it is not just a land speeder box, which, while damaged, it is in decent displayable condition. Okay, I told him, I said, I only need one good side, and I wouldn't even call this good, but I would call it acceptable. Not a lot of, there's a little scratch there, but beyond, and a little bit of tape, but beyond that, it's a decent vehicle, right? But when you open it up, oh, he included, all right. He's got another land speeder, so there it is. Now this one, yep, it's in working order. It's got the back part. Looks like it's floating. So another great vintage item that will go probably back in the sale. Although I will say, got a little bit of a loose seat. I will say that. But anything that is not quite up to par, he has explained it, so it's okay, and his price reflects that. So mine will as well. He included a lot of the figures in here that I purchased too, which I'll show later. Box, I do have a land speeder box somewhere, but I'm going to keep this one because this is the original. This is an original, and then I have the collector edition version. So I'll put this guy down here. I got to kind of redo all of the boxes here. I'm ultimately trying to build it up eventually where the display that I have will have the box with the vehicle in front of it. That's hard to do, especially in display cases with some of these bigger vehicles. So we'll have to wait and see. All right, what else we got? Oh, we got this lovely piece of goodness here. We've got the Millennium Falcon. This is the micro version of the Millennium Falcon. Okay, I believe he said it was complete minus the I don't know if he said the figures were a part of it or not, but he did say it was just missing the dish, the radar dish, which is fine. Now I have one of these, so I'm going to take a look at the one I have, and I'm going to take a look at the ones that he included, if there are any. I don't even remember if he said there were figures. I forgot, but it's okay. So in the end, I am happy to put this out. This is actually pretty good condition. I might flip this out with mine and say it's got, it's in great shape. Oh, except one label is coming off. So that's awesome. Let's see what else we got. Anything else? I think that might, there's some figures, which I'll get to in a minute. Okay, nope, that's all we got. All right. Okay, and also in the auction were a few figures. We got a Stormtrooper. Okay, this is a complete Stormtrooper. Not for sale. This one's going in the collection. I tend to want to build up the armies of my collection because when I was a kid, I didn't understand it. And what an idiot I was, I was like, well, what do you mean build your armies? You only need one Stormtrooper. You only need one Rebel Trooper. You only need one Cloud Car pilot. You only need one Cloud. You're supposed to have two Cloud Car pilots because that's what you put in the Cloud Car. So, I never, and I saw the Luke in the X-Wing pilot gear and I'm like, that's Luke. I don't need another one. No, I could line up 10 of them and that could be Porkins and Red 3 and this and this and this, and I could have had them all and, made my adventures, but instead I just had the one. So call me stupid, whatever I am. We have a complete Wicket. Not sure if I'm going to put him out yet or not. I think I will for now. Then we got my favorite fodder, and that's Weequay, right? And he's complete. But Weequay, I keep the Weequays because I'm looking to maybe do a little more vintage figures with the play sets and stuff. If I ever get to a point where I'm going to do that. And again, we have another Ewok whose name is escaping me. It's either Tebow or I don't think it's Pepsi. I think it's Tebow. All right, he'll go into sale. And then we have a Death Star droid that kind of a little bit of a beater, but he will go into sale as well. So again, Star Wars Daddy, check out his auctions. Again, they drop every Sunday. And listen, if you don't feel like buying them right now, just watch. Just watch, and what you do is you go on eBay, you type in Star Wars Daddy, you look for your shop, and then you look for all of his items, right? And then you sort them in the order at which they're ending soonest. And then just keep refreshing. You can put them on a watch list, so you can just heart all of them, then you can watch them, and it's amazing to see the prices just and some of them don't. Some of them are very. And he explains things greatly. If it's a lot of times if it's a beater, he tries to put the figures individually that are in good condition, right? And honestly, and again, I won a lot, but some of them, like I win, and I only paid the price he asked for, maybe just a buck or two more, and then I can put a little bit more on it for the sale. Okay, so everybody wins. Sometimes, as you said, I keep them. They're for my sale. They're for my collection. They're for my build my armies. The Stormtroopers, the Hoth Troopers, the Bespin Guards, the X-Wing pilots. And those are the ones I'm trying to build. I don't want to spend too much money on them. I don't mind if they're loose and without accessories. So I keep an eye on them as well. But and again, if you become a member like I did, you can ask for things like this was actually featured on his live auction. And I couldn't do the live auction because I was busy that night, but I went and watched on the rewatch, and sure enough, nobody bid on it. So I was like, so I emailed him. I said, will you take the price you asked? And he said, sure. So I sent him via PayPal, and there it is. It's in beautiful condition. Now, I love the micro collection. I love it because it's got a beginning, a middle, and an end. It wasn't very popular. I've said it on the channel. These were inch tall figures, like army men style. They're just posed, but they were metal. They were metallic, and they had a lot of weight to them, so they never fell over. And you could do cool little play sets. I said it before, and I said it again. I think the reason for them not being popular back in 1982 was that parents had already invested so much money in the 3 3/4 inch figures and vehicles and play sets. They're like, wait a second, now you want to buy all this stuff again, but smaller? No, I'm not doing that. We'll get you the other ones, but not these. So they just didn't sell. Now, I would say that in terms of value, they don't fetch a huge premium in the resale market, but they do fetch a little bit. This one probably fetches the most. Okay, so as I said, I want to mainly have this just as I'm going to compare it to my other one and see which one is a better vehicle, and I'll put this in the collection or put the other one in and sell the other one. Okay, but I do have one loose label here that I have to figure out where it's supposed to go, which I will do. All right, so guys, that's going to do it for this episode. All right, again, thank you to Darth. I keep saying I'm Darth Tuba. Thank you to Star Wars Daddy for constantly shouting out the channel. Please check out his channel. It's awesome. I will be giving out plenty more shout outs every time he gets his own dedicated unboxing episode, every time a box of his comes into my possession that I've purchased. So it's really, really cool. So I want to thank you all for watching, and check out his channel, and please give him a shout, from a Darth Tuba watcher, and let him know you say hi. And check out all my other videos. Like, subscribe, hit the notification button. You know what to do. All right, check me out on Instagram and Bluesky. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Until next time, may the Force and the toys be with you.